Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the stock course of how to get started with stocks. Today I'm going to be teaching you basically what this whole section right here is. So let's get started. First of all, I am using Google Finance. If you just search Target stock, this will come up. You can search Walmart stock and the same thing will come up. You could just use Google to use it, but there are obviously some very technical platforms that you could use. Like this one right here is called Thinkorswim. I will talk about this in a later episode, but right now this is like for a lot like later on. So back to this. Right up here is the name of the company that the stock is for. So Target Corporation, obviously, because I searched Target stock. You could also see it right here. There's some just random facts about Target and just a bunch of just random stuff. Next, this bar right here. This NYSE TGT, this actually stands for New York Stock Exchange, TGT, and this right here is called a ticker symbol. A ticker symbol is basically a shorter way of writing Target stock or whatever it is. So instead of having to write out Target stock, you could just type in TGT stock. And if you wait a second, the same thing comes up. So it's basically just a shorter way of writing it, and it's like the more official way of writing a stock name. And this NYSE, what that means is the New York Stock Exchange. It basically, that is where it's located. So it's located in New York for the NY, and Stock Exchange is basically the official stock exchange of New York. And this is like the most popular stock exchange. Like here, NYSE, it's basically like the main stock exchange for all stocks in America. Also, you'll see that the time it says is 3:37 p.m. even though down here it says that the time is 12:37. That's because in New York, I'm on Pacific Standard Time, but they're in Eastern Standard Time, so it actually is 3:37 there. So when the stock market closes at 4 p.m., it's actually closing in Pacific Standard Time at 1 p.m. Next, you'll see the December 29th, that's just the date, and also right here is the Eastern Standard Time. So basically, this is just all of the information about the company and the stock and where it's located and all of that stuff. Next, you'll see right here, 72.64, that is the price of what the share is at. So right now, the stock is at 72.64. So to buy one share, it would cost $72.64. And this is in USD, as it says right there. Next thing is this right here. Basically what this is it's the starting point of the market. So right here it says previous close. That's basically what price the stock ended at yesterday. So it ended at 72.83. And you can see it puts a line across the whole thing. And what this means is that it's down 20 cents from yesterday because it's a down arrow and it's also red. So let's see right here, if you actually drag it, you can measure the distance between two dots and like how much money was lost. So if you drag it right up to the top, it's actually kind of hard to get to the right spot, but it actually is down 20 cents, or now it's down 18 cents from the previous day. And then right here, it's just saying what percentage it's down from yesterday. So it's actually down 18 cents, or you could say it's down 0.25 cents. Next, you have all of these right here. These are basically the time slots for what the graph is. So right here, this is the daily graph. So right now it's 12:40, and if you add 3 hours onto that, it's 2:40. But right here, it actually updates every 5 minutes. But I have not refreshed the page, so it has not updated. But right here, this is the daily graph, and you can see it's not done because it is not finished and the market's not closed yet. We have about 2.5 more hours until the market closed right here. There's also a 5-day graph, so this is the past 5 days. Remember, you could drag and see right up here how much it's gone down in the last 5 days. So in the last 5 days, Target has dropped down $4.08, or 5.31%. Then you can do 1 month, 3 month, 1 year, 5 year, and then max. This is basically from the start of the company all the way till now. So you can see that when it started out, the stock was only 81 cents. And if you were to drag and go all the way to where the stock price is now, you can make 8,861.73% on whatever money you put in at the very beginning of this company. And you can just go from like right here and just measure it, and you can see how much money has been made by people who have bought the stock between two periods of time. You can also see that up here there's the date and the price, which is just another piece of information that you could have. Next, we have the open price, the high, low, market cap, P/E ratio, and div yield. Let's start off with the open. The open is at what price it opened up that day. So it opened up at 72.78. So that's what price was when at 9:30 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time it was at when it opened. Next, we have the high. This is the daily high of the day. So the highest point, which looks like about a little bit more, somewhere around here, was at 73.17. So that's just at the high, and then the low is the lowest point. So at 72.43, it would be a little bit lower than that. And you also have to keep in mind that this updates every 5 minutes. So if it were to go all the way up to $80 in between 9:35 a.m. and 9:40 a.m., it would actually not show up. It just shows up every 5 minutes, it puts a dot, and it just tells you where it is. Next, we have the market cap, or the MKT cap. Basically what that is how much money is in this company's stock. So right now, there's $40.29 billion of stock for Target Corporation. Next, we have the P/E ratio. What a P/E ratio actually is price to earnings ratio. That's what the P/E is price to earnings. And the price is this right here, divided by its earnings per share. Now, the earnings per share, also known as EPS, is actually not on here right now. But in a lot of other companies, like in TD Ameritrade and E-Trade, which I explained about in the last video, it actually has an earnings per share, like right below this. And what it actually is you divide the price divided by the earnings per share. So we could actually find out the earnings per share right now from dividing this, let's go into Google, divided by 13.32. Now this comes out to be 5.45 and there's a bunch of numbers. Basically what's that saying is for every share that you buy, the average amount of money that you will make on that share is this right here. So if you buy a $72.65 stock in 1 year, you'll probably have on average about $5.45 more than what you put in. Next, we have the dividend yield. What a dividend yield is basically what the company will pay in order to have your money in their stock. Because what they can do is they could use that money to advertise and just use the money as their own. So they'll actually pay you, it's like you're loaning the company money. They'll pay you 3.3% per year of whatever money you put in there. And the good thing about that is that is compound interest, which is really good because over time it just grows more and more at a bigger rate. And I forgot to mention this, but right here on the graph you could also see at the bottom all of the times, and right up here you could see the current price of the graph. So right up here is at $73.20 on this line, $73 at this line, $72.8 on this line, and it just goes all the way down. But since it has actually not gone below 72.4 or 73.2, it actually only has to be in between this. But if this were to drop down, the graph would instantly update and it would go down to like $71. And that is it for this video. In the next one, I'm going to be using E-Trade and TD Ameritrade to show you how to analyze the different types of stocks, because this right here does actually not give you a lot of information about what the stock is and what the earnings per share is. Like that was not on here. It just gives you a lot more information in E-Trade and TD Ameritrade.